Scorpio, cancel everything. Seriously, anything you've scheduled for the end of December, any commitments, any trips, any promises you've made, leave it open-ended. Because what's coming in the last weeks of this year doesn't fit with a full schedule. It doesn't fit with a defined itinerary. It doesn't fit with control. And I know that bothers you deeply. I know you like to know what's coming, to be prepared, to have a few tricks up your sleeve. But this time, you need to let go. And before you close this thinking, it's just another generic warning. Let me tell you something that will make your stomach churn. That feeling that wakes you up in the middle of the night. That inexplicable certainty that something huge is approaching, but you can't see what. Well, it's not paranoia, it's not anxiety, it's recognition. Your intuition is trying to warn you, and you, in your stubborn way, are trying to ignore it. Look, I'm going to be direct with you because I know you hate beating around the bush. The end of December isn't going to be what you imagine. It won't be that peaceful New Year's Eve, that planned transition, that controlled moment. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be a disruption. It's going to be the kind of thing you don't plan for because it's impossible to plan. And when that happens, and it will, mark my words, you'll understand why I told you to leave everything open-ended. Because it will be impossible to follow any script you had drawn up. Now take a deep breath with me, because what I'm about to reveal isn't for just anyone. This is only for those who have the courage to look at their own lives without filters. For those who can admit that they've been living on autopilot, following patterns, repeating cycles, pretending everything is fine when inside there's a volcano about to erupt. And you, Scorpio, you're a master at hiding that volcano. A master at maintaining the mask of everything's under control while inside you're falling apart. But at the end of December, that mask will fall, and there will be nowhere to hide. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly felt something? Not that superficial emotion you allow yourself to feel. Not that controlled version of feeling that doesn't scare you. But that raw, brutal thing that hurts and liberates at the same time. That feeling of being completely alive, completely vulnerable, completely out of control. It's been a while, hasn't it? Because you've built a perfect system to avoid it. You're so good at rationalizing, at intellectualizing everything, at turning emotion into strategy. But it's killing you inside. And the end of December is coming to put an end to it. And you know what's most disturbing about this whole story? You're going to resist with all your might, because Scorpio doesn't give up easily. You're going to try to maintain control. You're going to try to fit what's happening into your plans. You're going to try to negotiate with life as if you could negotiate the inevitable. And the more you resist, the more painful it will be. Not because life wants to hurt you, but because there are things you only learn when you stop fighting against them. So tell me something. Do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? Because both options lead to the same place. The only difference is how much you'll bleed along the way. The easy way is to let go now. It's admitting that you don't control everything. It's accepting that the end of December will bring what it has to bring and you'll deal with it. The hard way is to desperately cling to your plans, your certainties, the illusion that you're in control of your life, until life shows you, brutally, that you're not. And here's something nobody tells you. This moment that's coming isn't punishment. I know it seems like it. I know that when your life turns upside down, when everything you've built starts to crack, it feels like you're being punished for something. But that's not it. It's rebuilding. It's the universe looking at you and saying, you deserve more than this. You deserve to truly live, not this lukewarm version you've convinced yourself is enough. Now pay attention to this part because it's crucial. What will happen at the end of December will come from where you least expect it. It could be someone you considered safe, revealing something that destroys everything you thought you knew. It could be a truth about yourself that you can no longer deny. It could be an opportunity so absurd that it goes against everything you planned, but that you can't let pass. It could be a loss so profound that it will force you to completely reinvent yourself. I don't know exactly what it is, but it will be big. It will be unavoidable, and it will be exactly what you need, even if it doesn't seem like it right now. And there's something about you, Scorpio, that needs to be said here. You've been living with one foot out the door, with a part of you always on guard, always ready to flee, always maintaining emotional distance from things and people. And you do it so well that you don't even realize it anymore. You call it protection, emotional intelligence, learning from the past. But it's none of that. It's fear disguised as wisdom. It's cowardice dressed as caution. And at the end of December, this strategy will stop working, because what's coming doesn't accept half measures. It doesn't accept you with one foot in and the other out. It will demand that you give yourself completely or not at all. And then you'll have to choose. You'll have to decide whether to continue living protected but empty, or whether to risk being completely present, even knowing that being present means being vulnerable. And Scorpio, you hate vulnerability. You hate the idea that someone could hurt you. You hate not being in control of the situation. But what if I told you that's exactly where real life is? So let me prepare you for what's coming. First, don't try to understand it now. Don't try to anticipate, predict, or create mental scenarios. You'll be frustrated, because what's coming is bigger than anything you can imagine right now. Second, when it starts to happen, and you feel that panic, that urge to run away, stay. Stay with the discomfort, stay with the fear, stay with the uncertainty, because it's there in that space between what was and what will be that the magic happens. Third, and perhaps most importantly, prepare to lose things. Not necessarily physical things, but illusions. The illusion that you are in control, the illusion that you don't need anyone, the illusion that you can go through life without getting hurt if you're smart enough. These illusions have protected you until now. They've kept you safe, but they've also kept you small. And the end of December is coming to end that. It's coming to show you that you can be much bigger, much more intense, much more alive, if you have the courage to let go of protection. And you know what else? There are people in your life who won't understand this transformation. There are people who will think you've gone crazy, who will say you've changed, that you're not yourself anymore. And they'll be right. You won't be the same anymore, because the you that existed until now was an edited, safe, controlled version. And the you that will be born at the end of December is wild, intense, authentic. And that scares those who are used to the domesticated version. Let me tell you something about the end of the year that nobody talks about. Everyone treats it as if it's just a change of calendar, as if the important thing is the resolutions, the plans, the goals. But sometimes the end of the year is literal. It's the end of an era in your life. It's the closing of a cycle that lasted years, maybe decades. And when that happens, it's not smooth, it's not gradual, it's a rupture, it's an explosion, it's all at once. And that's exactly what's coming your way. So answer me honestly, are you ready for this? Or rather, because nobody is ever truly ready, are you willing? Willing to let go of what needs to go? Willing to open yourself to what needs to come in? Willing to feel lost, confused, scared, because you know that on the other side there is something much greater than the comfort you have now. And look, I know you're afraid. I know that beneath that hard shell, that image of someone unshaken by anything, there's someone terrified of getting hurt again, someone who has suffered too much, who has trusted and been hurt, who has opened up and been destroyed. And because of that, you swore never again will you expose yourself like that. Never again will you allow someone to get so close. Never again will you risk so much. But Scorpio, that promise you made to yourself is slowly killing you. Because there is no life without risk. There is no love without vulnerability. There is no transformation without the death of what came before. And you tried to circumvent that. You tried to create a life where you are safe, where nothing affects you, where you are always in control. And it worked to a certain extent. You managed to protect yourself, but in protecting yourself from suffering, you also protected yourself from joy. In protecting yourself from disappointment, you also protected yourself from hope. In protecting yourself from betrayal, you also protected yourself from real connection. And now is the time to decide. Because the end of December comes with a choice impossible to ignore. Do you remain protected but dead inside? Or do you risk truly living with all that this entails? The pain, the beauty, the chaos, the magic. And don't fool yourself into thinking you can choose later. This choice has an expiration date. It has a right time. And that time is the end of December. Now let me tell you something about this don't make plans thing. It's not because something specific is going to happen on a certain day, at a certain time. It's because you need to be available for life to surprise you, available to change direction midway, available to say yes when everything inside you is screaming no, because what's coming can only enter if there's space. And if your life is completely filled, completely programmed, completely controlled, there's nowhere for it to enter. So you cancel your plan, you leave gaps in your schedule, you create empty space, and you wait. Not that passive waiting of someone who is afraid to act, but that active waiting of someone who knows something is coming and wants to be ready when it arrives. It's like an animal in the forest that senses the storm before it begins. You can't stop the storm, but you can position yourself in a way that allows you to be transformed by it instead of destroyed. And there's one more thing you need to understand about this period. There will be times when you doubt everything. You'll question whether what you're feeling is real or if you're creating drama out of nothing. You'll wonder if it wouldn't be better to just ignore everything and move on with your normal life. And in those moments, I need you to remember this. You didn't get to this point in the text by accident. You're not reading this because you were bored. Something inside you recognized the truth even before I spoke. Your intuition already knows what's coming. Trust it, because I'm going to tell you something about intuition, especially yours, which is as sharp as a razor. It never fails. It can give you information you don't want to receive. It can show you truths you'd rather ignore. It can push you to places that scare you, but it never ever fails. And if your intuition is on fire right now, if you're feeling this tightness in your chest reading this, it's because it's already begun. The process is already in motion. You can't stop it now. You can only choose how you go through it. So here's an exercise for you to do right now. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath and ask yourself this question: what am I avoiding looking at? And wait. Don't force an answer, just wait. And whatever comes, a face, a situation, a feeling, a memory, a truth, that's the answer. That thing you don't want to look at is exactly what the end of December comes to resolve. It's the knot that needs to be untied. It's the wound that needs to be exposed to finally heal truly. And listen carefully to this part. When it comes to light, when you can no longer avoid it, don't do what you've always done. Don't bury it again. Don't rationalize it until it loses its meaning. Don't turn it into something smaller, more controllable, safer. Let it be big. Let it be scary. Let it be what it is. Because only then does it have the power to truly transform. Only then do you actually evolve instead of just surviving. There's a phrase that haunts me and that I need to share with you. What you need most is hidden in what you avoid most. Think about it. Everything you want, real connection, inner peace, true purpose, deep love, is on the other side of the fear you refuse to face. It's on the other side of the conversation you don't want to have. It's on the other side of the decision you've been postponing. And the end of December is dragging you to that other side, whether you want it or not. And here's what separates those who transform from those who only suffer: how you face the process. You can face it as a victim, thinking that life is against you, that you didn't deserve this, that it's unfair. Or you can face it as an alchemist, understanding that the fire that burns is the same one that purifies, that the pressure that crushes is the same one that forms diamonds, that the death of who you were is necessary for the birth of who you can be. And don't fool yourself into thinking you can skip this step. You can't. There's no shortcut to real transformation. There's no way to evolve without going through the fire. You can postpone it, you can run away for a while, but eventually life catches up with you. And when it catches up with you after you've run away for so long, it hurts much more. So why not face it now? Why not surrender to the process with dignity instead of being dragged along kicking and screaming? Look, I'm going to tell you something that maybe no one has said yet. You are much stronger than you imagine. And I'm not talking about that superficial strength of enduring everything without complaining. I'm talking about the deep strength of allowing yourself to crumble so you can rebuild yourself better. The strength to admit that you're not okay. The strength to ask for help. The strength to be vulnerable. You have this strength, you always have. You just forgot it because you were convinced that strength is never faltering. But true weakness is pretending everything's okay when it's not. Weakness is avoiding feeling because you're afraid of what you'll find. Weakness is living half a life because having a whole life is too frightening. And you've been weak in this way for too long, not because you are weak, but because no one taught you that courage is feeling anyway. It's diving into the unknown even while trembling. It's living intensely even knowing that intensity comes with pain. So when the end of December arrives and everything starts to happen, when you feel that urge to run away, to hide, to regain control, remember this. Remember that you weren't made for a small life, that you weren't born to be safe, that your nature is to dive deep, explore the darkness, transform pain into power. And that you only forgot this because you were hurt and you decided it was safer not to be yourself, but it's not safe anymore. It's just more dead. And I know you feel it. You feel that emptiness of being alive, but not living, of having a beating heart, but not feeling it, of going through the days as if you were seeing life from the outside, disconnected, anesthetized, and you hate that feeling. You hate looking in the mirror and not recognizing who's there. You hate having become this controlled, calculated, dead version of yourself. And guess what? The end of December comes to kill that version of yourself for good. It comes to force you to resurrect. It comes to remind you what it truly means to be alive. And yes, it will hurt. It will be the worst and best thing that has ever happened to you. It will destroy and rebuild at the same time. It will show you rock bottom and the mountaintop on the same day. It will make you question everything and find answers you didn't even know you were looking for. So I'll finish with this. Don't make plans for the end of December because you won't need them. Life has already planned for you. And its plan is much better, much bigger, much more transformative than anything you could imagine sitting there trying to control the uncontrollable. So let go, trust, surrender. And when the time comes, when you're in the middle of the storm, remember that you asked for this. Maybe not with words, but with every tired sigh of, there has to be something more than this. With every early morning staring at the ceiling, feeling like you're wasting your life. With every moment where you pretended to be okay, but inside you were dying of boredom with your own existence. You called for this, and now it's coming. And the only question that remains is, will you receive it with open arms or with clenched fists?